Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again with another episode of my Buffalo Sabres franchise mode series right here on NHL 18. You know the deal. You know what the series is at this point. That said, in this episode, we have a draft to go through after a, let's just call it a down season. Not to mention, of course, we also lost the draft lottery, so that didn't help all that much. But we'll see what we can do, as of course with this draft we do have a couple of extra picks to work with thanks to some of the trades that have been made. We also have Pittsburgh's first, Philadelphia's second, quite a few thirds. That's just kind of how it happened, really. That said, of course, looking at the team, we're still in pretty good shape moving forward. Now I look at this again, Luukkonen will be our starter next year. We'll probably have Hutton as his backup for one season. Not sure what we're going to do with Van Pottelberg, at least not yet. And really just kind of double checking this to see if there's anybody worth trading. I'd really say that there isn't. I'd say we're pretty much good to go on that front. There aren't really too many veterans, easy for me to say, that are worth getting rid of. Of course, I have no interest in just being like, oh, well, I'm never going to sign Everett, so let me flip him and someone else for a fifth. Like, I don't really want to do that in this particular run. So I feel like for the most part, we are pretty much good to go. Patches, of course, will be letting go of him at the end of this season. Someone will get pissed about it. I have no interest in trading Leach, even though his development's looking shaky. I'd rather just, again, any other series, of course, I could trade him for a great prospect. Let's not. For once, let's just deal with the fact that we have a prospect who isn't necessarily going to develop. We're good to go for right now. As far as the idea of trading up, I'm probably not going to do that. I think we'll just go ahead and move on, make all of our picks, and try to bring as much depth and as many names into this system as we possibly can. So let's go ahead and sim. Of course, the number one pick, Roenick, medium franchise. Would have been nice to get old Patrick Roenick. That didn't happen. He goes to Ottawa. Gleason, Tony Gleason goes to Detroit. You have Barlow and Monador off the board. So that leaves us with the fifth pick in this draft. And the only other player left projected in the top five is this sniper, Larson. Yes, that is Alexis Lafreniere, who has fallen to that point. Trust me, I'm tempted. Quentin Byfield's also there. Isaac Larson, though, being computer generated, look at that slap shot. He's too good to pass up. And you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe we will try to trade up into the top 10 again, if possible, to get Alexis Lafreniere. That said, Larson's too damn good to deny, unfortunately. So we are going to select him, and who knows, he could be on that top line with Jack Eichel and with Jeff Skinner almost immediately. So Larson is the pick. He is a monster, medium elite, 81 overall, at just 17, mind you. He is an absolute monster. I'm more than happy with that choice. I guess the big question here is whether or not Vancouver is willing to play ball. They are not. It's going to be that much more difficult to try and get that pick off of them. I don't think we're going to be able to do so, unfortunately. As much as I'd love it, let me take a look at the value of that. There might be... there's no way. There's no way. They'd need to want to trade that pick to get him. And yeah, the easy thing, trade them Leach and get Lafreniere. Again, not going to do that. Kuokkanen, giving up an actual prospect, though, on Kuokkanen, who is a little bit behind in terms of his development and that first-round pick. That might not be the worst move in the world, though, because there is an outside chance of him developing. But I can't help but think, even then, value-wise, it's going to be a stretch because they don't want to trade the pick. We'd have to give up way too much. So if Vancouver takes Lafreniere, so be it. They probably will, and they did. Some people are going to say, all right, you have him underrated at a 75. Probably, admittedly. Could have had some fun with it, made him a 78 or even an 80. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'll just say that. Could have made it a little bit better. But again, keep in mind, I would have updated this probably around January, February-ish, whenever that first roster editing spectacular came out. The hype around Lafreniere is only elevated over the past 5 to 6 months, really. So I'm not going to say that there weren't reports of, oh, he could be the number one pick. But again, I wasn't as crazy with the overalls. And of course, they can't develop in junior. So I'm not going to say I wasn't wrong. I should have made him a little bit better. As the Bruins are offering their first round pick, 27th overall, for Sandberg and a third. Now, we did sign Sandberg last offseason. I got to admit, I'm tempted to do this because his offensive stats are so weak. Defensively, he's fine. I got to admit, I think I might take this. I think I might. It's a third-round pick to the 87, so we'd basically, move up 60 spots. I think I'm going to take this. I'm going to send a counteroffer and tack on like a fifth. But I'm going to take this because I'm a little bit worried. Sandberg's obviously developed between last offseason and now. That offensive awareness hasn't gone up, and that really concerns me. I'm going to take it. Dylan Sandberg traded away to Boston. We'll take the extra pick. I'm not going to trade Aristo, though. A little bit dangerous, of course, to do that deal. We're not going to give up on Borgen, more than likely. A little bit dangerous to do that deal, of course, with the division rival. But again, I just don't think Sandberg's going to develop into what I was hoping he would develop into. Just Provokist there. Bokvist. It's not going to happen. So we have the 20th pick, and now the 27th pick. Which, again, I didn't offer that deal. They came to me with that deal, so I feel more than fine with doing so. Caden Goulet is off the board. Marco Rossi, of course, we added him in. Quentin Byfield. So we did have some of the real-world players that weren't in the game or that just had to be made a little bit better. Mietnin's also one of them, actually, as is Daniil Augustin. So there are a couple of guys here that if you pay attention to the roster reports, you'll know a couple of them are looking pretty good. Terrence Fenton out of Everett could be half decent. Howard DeFazio, not really much to go off of there. Rhett Reinhardt, I believe it is. I don't know what I would have made him, so I'm going to avoid him. We do have Reimer. I don't have faith in him actually being a high top 6. He could be a medium, though. I'd be afraid he'd end up being medium 9. Nelson Greer at 19, medium 6. We're going to avoid that. Noah Boyko is real. Komisarek Shabrikov is also real. I do believe. Probably avoid him too. We have Colin Cox in goal. I'm not sure who to take here. Brandon, I think it's Braden or Braden. Brandon Coe, also a real player. Vyacheslav Antropov, 20 years old. That's a promising sign. We also have Tyler O'Byrne, 20 years old as well. Niemi, the 19-year-old. We have Hicketts. Let's see if I can avoid missing an exact elite this time, right? Rocky Hextall. Nothing to really go off of there. We have the Italian, Pat Winquist. I am so tempted just because he's Italian. Pavel Koltsov, though. He's going to be good. Nicholas Robertson, not much to go off of. Okay, I think we pretty much have it sorted as far as who I'd prefer to select here. Really, it's out of the pinned players. There's the chance that I trade down. Dennis Niedermeyer, the 70 is looking all right, but it really depends on the potential. Cameron Suprika, not looking that good. We have Carl Sierra, 17. We have Ben King as well. Okay, so as far as who we have pinned here, quite a few of the 20-year-old options. First round option, there is Fenton, who I could take the risk on. I have a feeling he's going to be medium 6. I do. Philip Reimer, I'm not as confident in. I'm not going to trade down here. I am going to go for Terrence Fenton as this next pick. Another sniper from the Everett Silvertips. Let's hope this isn't a swing and a miss. And thankfully, it is not. He is medium top 6. He's only a 63, but he should have time to develop. I'm okay with that. So far, we've added Larson and Fenton to the team. Calgary ends up taking DeFazio. Let's sim to that next pick. I guarantee, though, one of those 20-year-olds, they're going to be amazing. Borgen for Kachuk in a 7th will decline. And, of course, you have that extra pick. So, Gustin, Boyko, Reimer, Schneider. So, it's a damn good thing that we avoided Reimer. Overall, we did pretty well there. I'd say we took the best available. Now we're looking at one of those 20-year-old players, and it might not be the worst idea. Yeah, let's trade down here. We'll get a little bit of value out of this. We have the second pick. Let's trade for that LA pick. If they want to move it, they don't. So that's not going to happen. Who was third? The Rangers. Do you want to trade that pick? You don't. Okay, you're really kind of screwing me here. I might just go off the board here. It's not really looking like it's going to be worth it. Yeah, let's just go off the board. Screw it. I'm good with that. It would have been nice to get that little bit of extra value, but some of these teams just not wanting to make these deals. It does make me think that these players are going to be worth taking. So as far as who we have pinned for the beginning of the second round, I am sorting it by pin. So we're definitely going to take one of the defensemen. And it's either going to be Tyler O'Byrne, Tyler O'Beauty, or it's going to be Pavel Koltsov. And I'm going to trust O'Byrne here. Might be a risk, but Tyler O'Byrne's going to be the pick. And Tyler O'Byrne is one hell of a pick. Medium 4, 70 overall at 20 years old. Tyler O'Beauty, welcome to Buffalo. We needed that pick there. And it makes me wonder if any of these teams might have screwed up here. Going off the board obviously worked out well for me there. Coe, Reinhart, Commissar, Cox was medium elite, but he's a 52. So overall, we're looking good. We end up with Fenton. We end up with O'Byrne. I'm probably going to take the other defenseman right now just to try and, boost up our defensive depth. So Pavel Koltsov will also be selected, the Russian defenseman. There we go. Yes, what a draft so far. Koltsov, medium top 4 and a 69 overall. Very nice. At 20 years old. So an elite, a truly elite level 17-year-old in Larson, a solid forward prospect in Fenton, and two very solid defensive prospects in O'Byrne and Koltsov, even as overagers. We will go ahead and sim. I'm not going to bother worrying about if any team wants to trade or not, because they've just been a big pain in the ass. Rand for Rosinen, I'll pass on that. Mishmash for a second. I'm actually intrigued by that. Mainly because I've already used Mishmash in a series. Ooh, he's up to a 78, though. He is up to a 78, though. And he seems to have developed a little bit differently than what he did in the USA series. I think we're probably going to keep him. Sorry, Florida. I thought for sure I was going to take that. No, as it turns out. Absolutely not. Hextall ended up being medium 6, but a low overall. Did we get lucky here? Enland was medium top 6 as well. Not a crazy high overall. Can you imagine if that other forward's still available? Greer! Wow. I didn't see that coming. Medium elite. The 19-year-old, medium elite, 57 overall. That's a hell of a pick for the Rangers. Unfortunately for everybody else, if I'm right here, we're going to be getting another strong option because Antropov is still there. Antropov is still there, the 20-year-old Russian, Vyacheslav Antropov. Still available. Let me check second to third round now, though. Like I said, I was looking to trade up perhaps. No teams were really willing to play ball, so we haven't missed out in that regard. And even then, it's still really working out for us. Mark Woolley, nothing too crazy. Vetterl, 17-year-old, nothing to really go off of there. What about Holden? Kyle Holden, the 19-year-old. Springus, the Brit, projected second, third round. We have Skinner, Gene Skinner, 17. Not much to go off of there. What about McNelly? No. What about Pruter? Pruter? Don't know. Not looking that good either way. Sharoff, the 19-year-old. That gets us into the third round. So we're okay for the moment. No doubt. This next pick, Antropov. Let's do it. How good is he? Jesus Christ. Okay, am I forgiven? Am I forgiven for missing out on a medium elite in recent times? Am I forgiven? Because, oh my God, these top 5 picks. I think I might have made the right call not trying to trade up, and especially not trading up to get Lafreniere. I think I made the right call. I said just moments ago I wanted this draft to be about bringing a lot of good prospects into the system. Yeah, we've done that. We have done that. This isn't a crazy draft, but in terms of, well, it is, though. It is. It's not going to be like my best draft in NHL 18, but it's up there. We're doing pretty well so far. It's just whether or not we can maintain this. I am just going to sim to our next pick. Goulet for a third and Pouliot. No. I'm going to say no to that. Zhukov and a third for Grubauer. No, we don't need another goalie right now. So let's see who else we missed out on. I'm feeling confident that we didn't really miss out on anybody. I'm looking more at potentials right now. There might be a crazy overall that sneaks past me, but even then, it's not going to be anybody with a crazy potential. So, medium starter goalie. That's about it. We did very well there. Did very well. Definitely got the best remaining player for that range. Who's available in the third, though, is the question. Jennings, 19-year-old, some league interest, could be worth it. Kolamainen, all right, Kolamainen. We have Biddington, the 18-year-old. Johnson at 19. Let's see, Hartnell at 18. Orlando Hartnell, what a name. We have Larson, also at 18. Of course, we're looking for 20-year-old players first and foremost, or anybody that we have a ton of info on. Letiviori, oh boy, the names. Kondratiev at 18. Turner, also 18. Ness, 18. It's not looking too good here as far as, kind of go-to players, ones that we can kind of assume are pretty good. Von Fersen, though. I mean, I know what the potential is, but still. We might have to take the risk on a 19-year-old or two at this stage. Again, we have quite a few picks here in the third round, and from the looks of it, outside of Boris Khudobin, it might be for the best. I mean, it's either we take the risk or we move back. To be honest, I don't know. We might just take the risk. Let's, because they are third-round picks. Let's just have fun with it. And I think I'm going to go for Kyle Holden, 19-year-old Canadian. Let's just take the risk on Holden. That's why you don't take the risk on players. Asset management and all. People really want Borgen. Like, numerous teams. Oh, boy, Thompson for a first. Though. That's an interesting one. Let me double-check here. Only a 78, but that's due to morale. I'm going to keep him. Well, odds are I'll end up with the same type of player, so I'll hold off. Thompson, a first and a fifth. Good Lord, people really want Thompson, which makes me think, again, that he might be able to turn it around. As far as players who were selected here, yeah, look at the quality drop-off. We're going to select that Ukrainian defenseman, and then I'm going to trade away the rest of our picks here in the third round, probably for picks next year. So Boris Khudobin, 20-year-old Ukrainian defenseman, is going to be the pick. And he's not that good. So there you go. That strategy doesn't always work. It's a bit of a swing and a miss. We only have one more pick here in the third round. I'll probably just make it and go off the board. Risto, again, not being traded. Olofsson was low top 4. That was the guy to look out for. Unfortunately, we really had no way of knowing. But Olofsson ends up being half decent. And then let's see here. As far as fourth round projected, Nichols, nothing really there. Connolly, nothing there. McCauley, nothing there. Kabanov, 17 years old again. Just all of these players right now would just be, pick them and hope for the best. We're trying to look for ones that might actually be half decent because you've seen what happens when I pick someone and hope for the best. It doesn't always go that well. Good old Johnny Hooker, not looking that good though. We have a North Korean, Jerry Sorelli. The 19-year-old, I might just take him for the hell of it. We have Dorset, 19-year-old defenseman. We have Gord Piper, good old Gordon Piper. Elvin McClellan. We have a Galchenyuk. This draft has really fallen off. Dwayne Irving. We do have Hamilton, 19. He's going to fall back to like medium top 9 for sure. There's no way he doesn't. If I pick him, he'll be medium top 9. If someone else picks him, he'll be franchise. Because that's just how it works. Stuart Walker. Anybody else here? Elliott's. This is not looking good for us at this stage. Not at all. Dawson Mercer. Not looking good. We have a Zeeler. This is bad at this point. At least we did our damage early on. Bear Lutzer. Good old Bear Lutzer. All right. We at least have someone else to target. I think I'm probably just going to take the North Korean for the memes. Jerry Sorelli, the 19-year-old North Korean. Let's do it. And he's terrible, but he's North Korean, so why not? At least we can laugh it off. Williams for Thompson, absolutely not. Nylander and Mishmash for Pavelski. You're insane. Thank you, though. You are absolutely insane. At this point, do I care enough to look back through? Not really, but I'm doing it anyway, although You know, low top 4 Olofsson was there. Low top 6 Ness. Yeah, it's really fallen off. That's what we can deduce from this draft at this point. Outside of the first round and a half, it's been pretty rough. That said, we do have our next pick in mind. It's a little bit off the board, but we're going to take the playmaker, Bear Lutzer. And we're going to hope for the best with Mr. Lutzer. He's not terrible, especially at this stage in the draft. Medium 9 and a 66. So maybe a future bottom 6 role player for us. First and a 6 for Thompson. I'm going to say no. I don't want that James Neal contract. Okay, now the Thompson thing is debatable, right? Because you could say, like, whoa, well, the team's terrible. He might not get a medium top 6 back like Thompson. He might get someone better, and that's true. I really don't want to trade Leach because I know he's probably not going to work out, but goddamn it, Calgary, you're really forcing my hand here with Neal in a first. It's not necessarily Neal that's forcing my hand. It's that first round pick. I could afford to take on that James Neal contract. It's just the fact that Leach might not develop. It's not looking too good for him, at least. And we'd get back a first-round pick next year and James Neal. I'm gonna say no. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say no. I don't know why. But part of me is just like, no, don't do this. It's a mistake. And the other part of me is like, no, you're an idiot. You should have taken it. Low elite, Blum, low top 4. All right, so nothing too crazy as we just breeze through those. We're good. Damn. I don't know. That might be more controversial than the Okposo decline trade to Montreal. That might be more controversial than that. We have Butsayev. We have Conacher. Regardless, we have to sit here and move forward and try to find somebody else that's half decent in this draft. And you know what? I'm going to call my timeout here because I want to just sit here and look through whoever's left and try to find out whether or not there is anybody really worth targeting at this point, or whether or not we're going to look to try and move down here. So, Butsayev, Conacher, Puka, Nordstrom. I don't remember if I looked at you. It doesn't really matter, does it? Matthew. Not looking that good. Matthew. Eric Boyer. Nothing to go off of there. Let's see. Clymer. Chris Clymer. What about Tabak? Anthony Tabak. See, we just don't have a ton of information on these guys. William Walker. William Hancock. The old Billy Hancock. What about Walter Bomeister? 19. Nothing to really go off of. Valentenko. We have Ray Kang. All right, so some 20-year-olds to at least, press our luck with here. Plekhanov as well. Oh, he's a grinder in the 5th to 6th round. He's going to be good. Kravchenko as well. Okay, well, I guess the answer as to whether or not is there anybody else still worth drafting? The answer is yes. The answer is very much yes. Harvey Sizek, Gabriel Pusher. We have Edward Davies, Daniel Vlasic Pickle, Calvin Sawatsky. Man, this is just in the 5th round, too. Chelios, Hoffman, the Romanian, and McBride. So that's just in the 5th round alone. Damn. Let's pin the options. I might go with a defenseman. I feel like we've taken more forwards. It depends on how many people there are. Yeah, there's only one defenseman. So I'm going to take Ray Kang. Ray Kang. Let's go off the board and take Ray Kang. And he's not that good. So again, the strategy doesn't always work. Risto and Borgen for Lucic and Benning. Get out of here. And with that, we're fine. So Butsayev. Oh, I probably should have taken that pick. That's going to piss some people off. That trade, I mean. That's going to piss some people off. And Bass was a 66 low elite. That is really going to piss some people off that I didn't take that trade. And part of me is wondering why I didn't. Just because it's what I would normally do. Especially when the AI is that dumb and you know a player's not going to be that good. I know that grinder's going to have really good potential, but he is a grinder. Plekhanov. I'm going to take him. Nikolai Plekhanov. I know he's going to have a really good potential, but he is a grinder. Yeah, medium top 6. There you go. 66 overall as well. Not too shabby. Borgen for Kachuk. Absolutely not. Mishmash. Absolutely not. Borgen, a 6th and a 7th. Basically Borgen for Studnicka. That's not going to happen. Fitzgerald for Pitlick. No, thank you. Borgen. No. 2nd and 7th might have been pretty good. God, I'm going to say no, because I just don't like my chances of getting somebody better than Tage Thompson. And Borgen, they keep offering, like, the forward version of him. I'm going to say no. I'm going to take the fact that teams want these players as a lesson that I should keep them. Larson at low elite. There was a low 4 there as well. Who else do we have? Low 6 climber. Low elite Puka. Couple of low elites as well. Damn. So we did okay with Plekhanov. He's probably going to have more value than any of those low potential guys. So that's not that bad, all things considered. We don't have any other pinned players, though, I just noticed. So that's going to sort through. Let's go ahead and call a timeout again. And we'll see who we can find. I'm not sure how many picks we have left in this draft. I'm hoping to get through the offseason in this episode. Should be able to. We haven't been going too crazy with the draft, with the free agent signings. We'll see who we have here. Just to double check through. Jarvis, Stepien. We have Rich Burke. Eklund. Good old Ola Eklund. Nathan Ralston. Linglet's kind of a meh player. Again, a lot of 19-year-olds where we just do not know. We don't have really any information on them whatsoever. To be like, oh, well, he's medium 7th, but we can see he has good defensive awareness. Like, it just hasn't gone all that well for us. Jeremy Sofilas. Jesus Hannon. Jesus Hannon, perhaps. Kavanaugh. So see, like Kavanaugh. I mean, obviously, though, it's not looking good. Bremberg at 19. No. We have Schwartz at 20, Clinton Schwartz. Now, again, the strategy hasn't been working out for us over the past few picks. I do like the agility of Zach Hobbs. That could be worth it. Vertanen at 19, Malkin as well in the 7th. Kervinen, Hagos, Shuglabov. Pettinger, meh. Nikulin as well. I think that's our 5. Sasha Mebus. That's a hell of a name. And Kavanaugh as well. So there are still some players that are worth it. I am going to check by potential here just to see if there's anyone that was scheduled to be undrafted. Thompson. All right, Harold Thompson. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll also keep an eye on Hobbs. Hobbs is projected as a 7th round pick, though. So let's go ahead and select either Schwartz or Sofilas. And I'll probably go with the no-value Jeremy Sofilas. See if that makes a difference. It does not. He's just okay. He's okay. Not good. Not bad. Bang average, as we call it. Benson, no thank you. Suter, again, no thank you. Borgen for Borgfist, no. No. And that brings us to this pick. How many picks do we have left here? Because we might want to be a little bit careful at this stage if we want to end up with those 2 top guys as far as the projected goes. Draft picks. All right, so we have 1 6th and 1 7th. Let's see what we can do here. We might abandon the whole drafting 20-year-old strategies because that hasn't worked necessarily. Let's go for... I really want Hobbs, but Thompson. I don't think I can get both unless I make a trade here, and I probably will. I'm going to go for Thompson. Not overly confident, this will probably be medium top 6, but we'll still give it a shot. Low top 6, even worse. All right, well, if Hobbs is still there, we'll take him. He won't be. Actually, he might be. It's the beginning of the 7th. Is Hobbs there? Because, boy, that other pick was just brutal. Hobbs is still there. Why not? Let's go for it. Fringe is my guess. Backup. Okay, well, there goes that. So the draft for us ended up getting progressively worse. Surprise, surprise. That's typically how drafts work. A couple of decent picks down the stretch, nothing too crazy. Baptiste for a 3rd, I'll decline. Merkley for Grubauer and Winnick, I will also decline, and that will do it for our draft. But overall, especially with the first 5, we did tremendously well. Mission accomplished in terms of really adding to the overall team depth. The big thing for us, of course, is the fact that this team's morale is in the goddamn toilet. Patches, that's fine. I mean, you're going to be released anyway, so, that'll piss off people that I cut you, probably. But, hey, we're doing what we can. 39 locker room chemistry, that's not bad, right? That's not bad. That's not ridiculous off of 1 losing season. because rookies wouldn't view it as, oh, we're losing. You wouldn't be able to convince them, like, hey, don't look at it as a losing season. Look at it as experience. You wouldn't be able to do that. No. Anyway, Hutton, again, will stay for 1 season. Johansson, you're on the way out. We don't have space for you. We need 5 goaltenders. Van Pottelberg's there. We're just going to outright release him and sign Ovechkin. He'll be playing down in the AHL with Zhukov. And then, of course, Van Pottelberg and Hutton will probably be up in the NHL. Defensively, Goulet needs a deal. We'll look to sign him. He's an RFA. That is a stupidly cheap contract. That makes me worry about his development. Bryson Martin at 24, 1-year deal. I'll do that. Hickey needs a contract. Sign him up to a 1-year deal. Stevens and Pilot. Oh boy, this is actually where it gets to be a little bit worrisome. Just in terms of balancing this out. So we do have a top 6 there. Hickey. I'm unsure about Pilot and Stevens. Obviously, Pilot's a little bit better. We do want to sign Ginning and Wild. Rodriguez. We have Smith, Bailey, Cornell, Stenlund to worry about. Linus Neiman. The old nematode to worry about. We'll let go of Pacioretty, as we always planned. Connor Sherry's pissed. Absolutely pissed. In terms of the amount of contract spots we have right now, that's the main thing that I'm worried about. Of course, for the majority of these guys, they're re-signing, right? So, like Hickey would technically bring us back up to 41, 42, 43, and for forward-wise, 44. Actually, Rodriguez should show up, though. This is tough. We have to prioritize this. Like, Dubielewicz will obviously be let go of. He's just not going to make it. Who do I want to prioritize here? Let's probably just move forward a day. See what happens with those initial offers. And then we'll come back. I'm trying to play this safe. Obviously, the amount of cap space that we have, again, is going to be a major factor with how young this team is. Cap space is going to be a factor in terms of needing to make sure that we have room to sign certain, or at least, I mean, we want to be able to sign free agents, but we also want to be able to sign a veteran to take up a shitload of money so that I have the ability to call up and send down whomever I want. But Ovechkin, welcome to the team. 41 contracts, all expiring. So Hickey rejected, which I gotta be honest, probably for the best. He was the one guy I kind of regretted sending an offer to in the first place. And if you look at the others, I mean, granted, Bryson Martin probably didn't need to hand him a contract, admittedly. And there's a chance I might buy him out. So Hickey's gone. That's fine, which is a shame. But, I mean, you know, defensively oriented. We can let go of him. No problem. In terms of everybody else, I'm going to look to bring back Stevens. If he'll go 1 year, I'll bring him back. It's a tough call as far as who I want to let go. We might have to be a little bit more ruthless, I'd say. So Martin might be worth letting go of. For now, he stays. Stevens can go. We'll see who's on the free agent market. Pilot, he's pissed. He can go. For now. Might bring him back if he's up for it. Let's sign Ginning. And let's sign Bodie Wild. Again, nobody else there defensively that we have to worry about. Right wings. Rodriguez will probably look to bring back for obvious reasons. See if he'll sign that initial offer. Larson needs to be signed. Actually, let me go double check the defense here. We're fine. Right wing, Smith. On the fence about bringing him back. Bailey, Cornell, Stenlund, Karabasic. Neiman's going to be let go of. You know, good overall in age, but the potential, obviously, that's just not going to work for us. Left wing. Leach, we're going to look to sign just to try and develop him for the memes. Sherry, I'm not sure if we're bringing him back. Thompson, I have to bring back at this point. And as far as signing anybody else, we look to be good. So let me just double check what the situation is if we move forward a day. I don't think I'll regret signing Bryson Martin to an extreme extent. If I do, I'll just hopefully be able to buy out that new contract. That's the one that I'm really kind of regretting. Rodriguez rejected. Everybody else accepted, which isn't a surprise. Guys like Rodriguez and Sherry, they might be a little bit more tough to sign because of the current morale situation. The good thing is we have the money to spend. So let's take a look. All expiring again. Defense, we're fine. Right wing. So Rodriguez. Let's go 1 year, $3 million. Just to get you back. Smith, Bailey, Cornell, Stenlund, I'm just not sure. Left wings, Olofsson, Sherry, I'm not sure. Thompson, at the very least, has to come back. So let's go 1 year at 1.5. We can afford to spend a little bit more on you, and we'll see what the reaction is to those deals. I'm mainly keeping an eye on that contract amount. I'm wanting to make sure that we have room to do a little bit of damage if necessary in free agency. All right, well, it wouldn't be an episode of mine, at least not recently, without having to make some sort of weird jump cut. But we're back on track, I guess, if you could say we were ever on track. Let's get back to figuring this out, shall we? As I think I know what I want to do here. At the very least, we'll start off by sending an offer to Victor Olofsson, Connor Sherry as well. I'm going to offer him 1 year, $2 million, just to try and get him back into the fold, and also to take up a little bit of salary. That won't hinder him if we have to re-sign him. We're going to bring back CJ Smith. He's going to want a one-way deal. We're going to bring back Bailey as well. Might have to offer him a little bit more. And then the big thing here is Stenlund over Cornell. We're not going to bring back Cornell unless we're looking okay on the number of contract spots front. And really that depends on what this ends up looking like. But overall, we should be okay. We should be fine. We should be good to go. We should have a little bit of maneuverability heading into free agency. Sherry rejects. Everybody else accepted, though. So that's good. Well, we have the money to offer Connor Sherry as much as he's really looking for. Hell, he could be the one player that gets handed $15 million. Of course, we wouldn't be able to trade him. Well, actually, we might be able to, though, with the whole salary retention deal. 42 contracts. Yeah, we're good. We are good. You could argue, wow, Eric Cornell, you're drunk. Sorry, buddy. You're not getting a one-way deal. You could argue, actually, that some of the guys we let go of could actually have been brought back. But for the most part, we're still looking okay. And I think I'd rather have those extra contract spots to work with heading into free agency. We get our pick of the litter as far as, actual players and prospects on both offense and defense. Of course, goaltending, again, we're pretty much fine unless we commit to trading Van Pottelberg. There's an outside chance, though, that we're going to lose Connor Sherry for nothing, which isn't a disaster, but it also wouldn't be great to have him walk. We have $35 million in cap space. I thought for sure what I just offered him would have been enough. Let's go 1 year. To be honest, again, if you don't accept 2.3, I'm willing to let you walk because you're not going to get much better anywhere else. So if he doesn't accept that, I'm actually fine with letting him walk. It's all good, and it is what it is. I mean, hell, as it is, we brought back Bryson Martin, and we probably definitely shouldn't have done that in the first place. No offense, Bryson. So really, we're looking okay. So Connor Sherry's gone. I'm all right with that. I mean, any more money than that would have been a bit much. So let's take a look at who is available here. A bit much in that, of course, we don't really know what his full overall is right now. I could have looked at player morale, but even then, there's no guarantee it was going to bounce back. So Tyson Barrie is the gem. As far as goaltenders are concerned, Braden Holtby's there. Shesterkin has to be signed this year, right? And also Ingram was there too. Up to an 82 at 23. God damn. So as much as I'd love to bring in one of these prospects, particularly a Hutton or a Whitmore, we're good. Goaltending wise, we're good to go. We have our 5. Defensively, though, the idea of being in on a Tyson Barrie could very well work out. Even like a Hamonic or a Schultz. Muzzin at 31. Don't know if he fits the window, but we have an option here I'm kind of intrigued by. Let me look at prospects as well. Wow, Boqvist. Oh my god. Boakfist. I am so tempted. Also, there's Morozov. Why the hell he just hit the free agent market, I have no idea. Vancouver, what the hell are you doing? I have no choice but to go in for him. Like, that would just be a dumb move to not do it. Obviously, if a player of that caliber were to hit the free agent market, especially for the money total, every single team would be in for him. So, we will do just the same. Let me take a look at the roster here, though, defensively. So there's a chance that we end up spending some money here. Again, if you look at this defense, yeah, we obviously need the help. Looking in there, Hutton is the backup this year. Nothing we can do goaltending-wise without a trade. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to commit to who we have. Defensively, the upgrades are there. And then forward-wise, we could still use help in the top six. Obviously, someone like Skinner's a little bit better than what he actually is, though. So we have options. The bottom six right now is a goddamn log jam. Like, there is so much... there's so many players for so few spots. It is pretty bad, and we're probably going to have to make some deals out of this anyway. I think first and foremost, we're going to send an offer for Ty Berry. We're going to try to get involved in that sweepstakes. We'll go 6.5, 6... Let's go 6-8 over 3 years, see if he's good with that. Muzzin, I think I'm going to avoid with him being 31. Brody as well. I wouldn't mind bringing in a Travis Hamonic, too. I wouldn't mind. Zboril's there, too, but he's as an RFA. I'd like to avoid him. Let's go UFA. I'm going to send the offer to Boakfist as well. We can, I mean, here's the thing. It's a toss-up, right? We can only offer him the max deal. No guarantees as far as what's going to happen there. So let's say ideally we have Barry and Risto, Boakfist, and somebody else. And then we have a logjam for that third pairing. Let me take a look here. So Muzzin, well-rounded. Brody, well-rounded. Hamonic, I'm a little bit worried about the offense, but it's better than what it would have been with like a Sandberg. Very tempted. It's a good way to spend some money, too. It's a very good way to spend some money. There's also Morozov, which I'm going to consider Morozov my one like prospect signing. I'm not considering Boakfist a prospect signing. I'm not doing it because he's not. He's very much not. I'm also going to enter this Morozov sweepstakes. We'll see what happens there. And I think defensively, do I want to go for Muzzin, who's technically a top 4? I'm going to go for Jake Muzzin too. I'm a little bit worried about his age. But if we go $6 million over 3 years for him too, we have the money to spend. We might as well. 6-8 for Barry, $6 million for Muzzin. We have Risto, and could potentially get Boakfist for cheap. If Boakfist, if that deal falls apart, we'll factor in something else. But I think we're gonna splash some cash here. And then forward-wise, we really haven't even looked at it. Stone is there. Toffoli. Who do we have prospect-wise? Let's actually just look at every forward. Barrett Hayton is also there. I'm going to throw my name into the hat on that sweepstakes. And then as far as our one prospect, Sarah Noel, let's throw our name into the hat on that sweepstakes because teams, for some reason, can't figure out how to sign their high-end prospects. With that, though, 6 contracts out. We're running a little bit low on spots. Stone, Shen, Toffoli. Very intrigued. I've used Stone this year, so I don't want to bring him back for that reason. I don't want to bring in Pacioretty because he's 31. Although, granted, we did just, I used him earlier in the Montreal series, too. So I'm thinking Shen or Toffoli. Obviously, the benefit to Shen, a little bit better as a face-off guy. Also listed as a first-line center, which technically could be complicated. Toffoli might be better for being a second-liner. I can keep Shen happy as a first-liner, though, with power play time. What would this take to get Shen? He's 28. 4-year deal at 6.8 as well. I'm going to send that out, and we're just going to see what happens. I'm going to send that out. We're going to see what happens. In terms of approached, I used Barrett Hayton earlier, but again, that's too good of an opportunity to to get rid of him, to be honest. We used him in Ottawa. But Barrie, Muzzin, Boqvist, Schenn, Hayton, Noel, Morozov. This could be a game-changing offseason for us. We have all this cap space. Now would be the right time to use it. There's just no guarantee of who ends up signing. The big thing here, though, is just trying to make sure we have enough spots for everybody. And then forward-wise, so I mean, again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rodriguez. Yeah, we should be fine. If we consider Rodriguez 5 in the top 6, Larson there, we should be fine. I don't think we're going to need anybody else. It's just whether or not these offers go through. I'm more concerned about the prospects, obviously. But let's see what happens here. As far as how this goes down, who signs, we have the space, both cap space and contract-wise. Morozov is here. He is the first one to answer. So we end up getting a defensive prospect, Morozov. Here's the moment of truth. Next day, Sarah Noel goes to San Jose, so he declined. Barrett Hayton also declines. He goes to the Rangers. Boqvist declines. He goes to Edmonton. That's a massive loss. Way to go, Edmonton. All right, so case in point, we only ended up with Morozov. There's no guarantee when you can only send out the 925, but now the big money's on the line. Barrie, Schenn, and Muzzin. And defensively, again, we might want to look at somebody else here. Again, if we have Barrie, Muzzin, Risto, and who else? And just have that third pairing made up of people in our organization already. UFAs only. Prospect-wise, it's just Belpedio and Ball. I don't even think I'd really have room to sign Kevin Ball. I'd like to, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's just, do I go in for another high-end defenseman? Like a Travis Hamonic, basically. And there is an outside chance of that, to be honest, man. Justin Schultz could be a very good discount option. A very good discount option. Overall is not everything. Obviously, though, Barrie and Muzzin are both tremendous. I like the idea of bringing in Schultz. And then again, that third pairing, who knows who the hell it ends up being. I'm going to send an offer to Schultz. And he's not that expensive. Could go 2 years, $5 million. I'm not against that. And then forward-wise, again, we have the offer out for Schenn. We didn't end up with any of the other prospects. So there is Jeremy Bracco, and it says Isamon. He's a Vegas. He's a fucking LA prospect. Hinastros is there as well. Jeremy Bracco is interesting. Tried to get him to work out in the USA series. It really didn't happen. Troy Terry is also there. Liam Foudy is also there. I think the amount of forward depth we already have, though, if we're going to bring in anybody, it needs to be a game changer like a Braden Schenn, instead of just hoping for the best and adding another prospect who just adds to the logjam of it all. No offers for Toffoli. We're going to wait a day. We're going to see what the feedback is here, and then progress from there. So let's see. Out of the big three, Barrie goes to Philadelphia. Muzzin goes to Detroit. Schenn just outright rejects because of the locker room chemistry. Again, it's a downside of the morale system, and I say it's a downside. Some people will be like, well, just work the morale better. My argument is, if you have a team made up of mostly kids, you're going to be able to say in real life, hey, use this as a developmental season. Don't view it as, oh my God, we're losing all these games. And odds are they're going to respond a little bit better towards you anyway. So this is a problem. This is a pretty big problem, because we didn't really end up with anybody now, did we? We got Morozov. Aside from that, we're in just a tad bit of trouble. Also, I think most teams would look past the losing season and say, yeah, Jack Eichel. I'll play with Jack Eichel and Casey Middlestat. Sounds good. Maybe not, though. Maybe I'm wrong. But again, goaltending, we're fine. Defense, obviously still a rough situation. Right now, that would be our top six. We need to bring in somebody, anybody, and then forward-wise, again, we're okay in a way. Like, we have a forward core that's going to put up points, but it would be nice to bring in somebody to help. So let's take a look at what we could potentially do here defensively and maybe even on the offensive side of things. So we still have the offer out to Schultz. Brody is there. He's not terrible. Hamonic, Justin Braun, something like a Murray, a Scandella, Zaboral I'm not really going to worry about. And again, I do only want to look at UFAs. Brody could work. It's just the fact that he wants a 4-year deal really concerns me. I'll ask for 2 years, and we'll go up to 5.75, and we'll see what he says about that. We also still have the offer out to Schultz. And again, ideally, we'd bring in one other guy to pair up with Risto. Could be Braun, could be Hamonic. Daly is already capped out. Could be Trevor Daly as a veteran. Dylan, Petrovic, Dean, Kokan, Ryan Murphy, Clayson. Could very well be Hamonic. Hamonic. Let's go 2 years at 5.5 just to kind of gauge the interest. Again, I'd rather hand him that much money, I suppose, than a Nathan Beaulieu. I mean, Schultz, though, yeah, you could argue. I do prefer, Schultz and Beaulieu overall-wise were comparable, but I do prefer Schultz's current attribute layout. And then forward-wise, then again, too, we were in a different cap situation when we didn't want to bring back Beaulieu. Stone, Pacioretty, no. Shen, of course, declined. You might end up changing your mind, buddy. I'm going to wait there. I'm going to wait. We might wait until the end of the end or the beginning of the preseason to see who's still there, see if we can get anybody for cheap. So actually, with that said, let's go sim the next season. We'll see what happens with the offers we have out. Schultz rejected. Hamonic rejected. Brody rejected. Okay, well, looks like our best bet then to get anybody else that could be half decent is to hope that at the beginning of this next season that they're still not signed and that they're desperate to end up signing. You wouldn't think that a 39 locker room chemistry would mean, like, no, nobody wants to sign with you. It's miserable there. It's like, I wouldn't define a 39 as miserable. Is it a failing grade? Sure. But, I think, I'm just saying, I think it's a little bit too one-dimensional. That's right. I said it. Regardless, factoring in prospect development, it might be for the best that some of these guys didn't end up signing anyway. It's going to be intriguing to see what this team is looking like. Not really sure what we're going to be dealing with. I'm intrigued to see what someone like Luukkonen looks like for sure, though. If he made it up to, say, an 82, perhaps an 83. We're just seconds away from finding out, though. Not worried about captains. To roster moves we go. Let's see what the deal is. So goaltending-wise, Luukkonen is up to an 83. Hutton's still at a 77. Is that due to morale? That is due to morale. We'll leave him there for the moment, but we'll also bump up Van Pottelberg, who... yeah, I can't really... He's not going to get that much better. I'd rather try to develop Zhukov and Ovechkin. So, we'd be over the allowable player limit there, but we'll probably call him up. So, Risto, Martin, Goulet, Borgen, Pionk, and Merkley. That's not ideal. And also, Merkley, it's not looking too great, to be honest. It is tough to tell, though, at certain points what is due to morale and what isn't. So, forward-wise is obviously where the logjam is. Eichel's at an 86 right now, apparently. So, yeah. Oh, boy, do we have a logjam of talent right now. In terms of a top six... we do have the depth options as well that are looking okay. There's a lot that's going to go into sorting out this team. I suppose my first step is to look at the free agent market to see who is still there. And a lot of the top guys are actually, they ended up signing. So, Stroh's is there, Scandella, Sherry. How's it feel, buddy? Maybe you should have signed. Look at you now asking for 1.2. Don't you feel like an idiot? For the most part, we're fine. We might have to sign some other options, but it's gonna be a bit of a pain in the ass to sort out this roster. I got to admit. I have to admit, because we're gonna have to sit here and really sort this out between offensive options and more depth options. So like a Baptiste is still perfect for like a bottom 6, as is Bailey. You know, he's still good for a bottom 6 role. Stenlund, for sure, can fit into a bottom 6 role, especially with that defense. Velarde, ideally, would be more in a top 6, especially with that defense. Tage Thompson, dealing with depth or dealing with morale issues. This is going to be a pain in the ass to sort out. So, at least on the offensive side. Defensively, so let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, so we have 12 in total. I think ideally, let me take a look here. So Fitzgerald, Budic, Merkley, of course we'll probably look to send down. It's tough to say how we want to sort this out, but we do have our 6 here. People are going to have to be healthy scratched anyway if we sign any more people. I'm just trying to think of how I want to handle this because we have too many different options. And obviously, none of the options are looking great anyway. You know, they're really not. I think perhaps the best way to do this, outside of making a shitload of trades, might just be to worry more about who has the better development chances. Let's see, Pionk's 25. Like Borgen and Goulet, I think ideally would also be down. And also, we have to sign someone to take up cap space. You know, I don't know if we're going to get the roster set in this episode. I don't know if we are. That's just such a log jam of talent. It really is. Defensively, I need to sign somebody. It's got to be a UFA. I really don't want to bring back Scandella, but that might not be the worst idea. Ron Hainsey at 39, also an option. Joe Morrow. It's a bad situation we find ourselves in here. Ryan Murphy. You know what? For now, I'm going to stop the episode. We will try to get this roster set up for the next one in the beginning of this next season, but needless to say, some moves are going to have to be made. That said, hope this episode was at least somewhat enjoyable. Admittedly, kind of thrown off my game over the last second half, just because I was kind of worried. Admittedly, it was the PC half crashed while streaming. I don't think I lost anything at this point in time, but it really threw me off my game. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed. We're in a very interesting situation now in this series thanks to the morale system, but we'll try to rebound starting in the next one. For now, again, support the video, support the channel. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.